in the hushed corridors of the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris, beneath the high windows and classical plaster casts, young men gathered to train their eyes, their hands, and their minds. It was not only an education, it was a rite of passage. Here the brush became a vessel of order and form, and the canvas a battleground for light, anatomy, and nobility. Among them stood a man born not in France, but in a sunlit village on the Dalmatian coast. His name was Vlaho Bukovac. He was born Biagio Fagioni in 1855 in Cavtat, south of Dubrovnik. The son of a Croatian mother and the grandson of a shipwrecked Genoese sailor, his life began with the salt of the sea and the spirit of two cultures. As a youth he crossed oceans to New York, Peru, and San Francisco before returning to Europe. It was not an easy journey, but it was one shaped by curiosity and resilience. I sought to be myself free from the fashions of the moment. Why? Because he was a free thinker and was not afraid to challenge prevailing methods. In Paris everything changed. Supported by generous patrons and guided by the hand of the esteemed Alexandre Cabanel, Bukovac entered the atelier with reverence. Under Cabanel, he studied the disciplined art of academic painting, proportion, allegory, the idealized nude. It was here he shed his Italian name and adopted a Croatian one, Bukovac, a quiet declaration of identity within the cosmopolitan halls of French art. His skill matured rapidly. In 1887 he exhibited Une Fleur, a sensuous yet disciplined nude that caught the eye of critics at the Paris Salon. The painting was tender, luminous, and technically impeccable. It was the work of a man who understood the canon and who could gently bend it to his own will. But Bukovac was not confined to Paris. He moved freely between countries and courts. In London his paintings were collected by prominent patrons. In Belgrade and Cetinje he became the court painter for the Obrenović, Karađorđević, and Petrović-Njegoš dynasties. Honours followed: the Order of the Cross of Takovo, the Order of St. Sava, and the Order of Prince Danilo. And yet, even with royal commissions and academic praise, Bukovac remained connected to his roots. In Zagreb from 1893 to 1897, he led a quiet revolution. Bringing with him the clarity and polish of French academic art, he helped lift Croatian painting into a new era. His landscapes brightened, his brushwork loosened. Light entered the canvas with new confidence. But always, underneath, there remained the structure, the noble scaffolding of refined training and technique. His life and work were eclectic, for the artist pursued his career in a variety of locales, and his style changed greatly over the course of that career. He is probably best known for his 1887 nude Une Fleur, shown earlier, which he created during his French period, and which received marked attention in many reviews and publications. But he continued and was consistent in using the figure throughout his life. This discipline has always been important to artists, and Bukovac experimented with many variations of gestures, coloration, and composition choices, using his noteworthy stippled style. His careful drawing always the earmark of good painting and understanding of form, both with values as well as simplified close harmonies in colour, sometimes bordering on sfumato or tonalism. That focuses on subtle, almost imperceptible transitions between tones, creating a soft, hazy effect by blurring edges and contours. His portraiture was highly sought after, which meant Bukovac travelled often, taking commissions from England to Serbia, from Dalmatia to Montenegro. His portraits of queens and nobility were not mere likenesses. They were testaments to the academic ideals he upheld: balance, clarity, refinement. For his portrait of Queen Natalie of Serbia, he was awarded the Order of the Cross of Takovo. Other honours followed, but none changed the constancy of his craftsmanship. In Zagreb, he became a figure of national culture, noting his monumental theatre curtain at the Croatian National Theatre, a sweeping allegory of artistic reform, signaled a new era. He taught, he organized, he built institutions. He brought his atelier skills to the Adriatic. Later, in Prague, he became a professor at the Academy of Fine Arts. There, too, he left his mark, introducing his own version of pointillism, nurturing a new generation, blending innovation with tradition. He remained a man of letters as well as images. In 1918 he published My Life, a personal reflection that offered insight into the quiet struggles and quiet triumphs behind his canvases. One author commented on a review of his works, "Among the painters exhibited here, I must name first of all Vlaho Bukovac, a professor at the Academy of Arts in Prague. He exhibited about 15 pictures, all of them of the best artistic quality. Bukovac is a painter of more than ordinary ability, and his works have been seen in many foreign exhibitions. He is excellent as a portrait painter. His portrait of Mrs. B, one of the best he showed here, is a work full of animation and freshness, besides being very effective in colour. In another, a charming and graceful reminiscence of the painter's family life was given in his picture called My Nest. Two well-painted nudes were also among his contributions, one called The Hot Bath being perhaps the finest bit of painting he has done so far. However, I liked his Dante triptych much less than his diptych of Icarus, the latter an admirable achievement. And then we have the following story. In more recent times, from 2018 to 19, there was mounted the works of student and teacher, highlighting Vlaho Bukovac and Alexandre Cabanel. A historic encounter of pupil and teacher, in which the art pavilion presents Vlaho in a context in which his work has never before been exhibited. In this show, along with Bukovac's works, those of his Parisian professor Alexandre Cabanel are also shown. Vlaho, as is well known, became acquainted in Paris with the then exceptionally distinguished and highly appreciated painter and professor at the École des Beaux-Arts, Alexandre Cabanel, and wanted to enroll in his class and study painting under his direction. However, at that time, Cabanel was an extremely popular painter, and his class was consequently always full. Like most of the students at the École des Beaux-Arts, wanted to take lessons only from him. And yet the class was full, and the famed French painter could not fit him in. Our painter, however, would not give up, and made a deal with Cabanel that within a certain time he would paint a picture, and if the professor liked it, Vlaho would be received into the class. And so he painted the picture of Hand, now in the Museum of Modern Art Dubrovnik, which delighted Professor Cabanel, who now admitted him into the atelier. The famed French painter played a large and important role in Bukovac's art education, and the exhibition in the art pavilion brought together pupil and teacher, so providing a clear picture of what kind of an influence on Bukovac's art Cabanel was. In the crisp December air of 1898, the city of Zagreb witnessed a cultural awakening. A striking new structure, bathed in light, crowned with a dome, and alive with promise, opened its doors for the first time. This was the art pavilion, a temple of beauty and expression, and at its heart stood a man whose vision had helped bring it into being. Vlaho Bukovac, fresh from the salons of Paris and the academies of Prague, Bukovac had returned to his homeland with more than just accolades. He carried with him a belief that art could shape a national spirit, that it could uplift and unite. As president of the Croatian Society of Artists, he stood proudly before a gathered crowd and delivered a speech that rang with gratitude and hope. He thanked the city council not merely for a building, but for a future. The pavilion, he said, was not just a gallery, it was a symbol, a space where Croatian artists could present their visions with dignity, a place where the public could witness the heights their culture might reach. His words struck a chord, echoing through the halls and into the hearts of a new generation of creators. And these were years of energy and focus and joyful labour for Bukovac, and Zagreb welcomed him warmly, as he poured himself into its artistic life. He gave tirelessly to his students, not only teaching technique, but imbuing them with purpose. In his studio and in the classroom, he passed on the lessons of a lifetime: discipline, observation, and above all, reverence for truth and beauty, the convergence of personal satisfaction and public impact. He had painted for emperors and parliaments, but now in Zagreb he was painting something even more enduring, a foundation. With each lecture, each exhibition, each brushstroke, he was building a legacy, not just of works, but also of inspiration. The art pavilion still stands in Zagreb today, a glowing testament to that moment, and to the man who helped illuminate it, not only with light, but with vision. Bukovac kept a diary, and we wanted to add his own words and thoughts as he expressed them. A successful portrait is the purest sign of an artist's strength. To make a good portrait does not only mean to see well, but also to understand the soul of the person sitting in front of you. It means to be able to understand the true character of the person in question and to fix it on the canvas. Those who write about how to paint flesh, drapery and landscapes, water and the rest, have not thought that their theory itself is suitable for being art, because it does not tolerate theory nor recipes. Art is completely free. One can work this way and another the opposite, and both can be great artists. It is not written in heaven or on earth that one should paint with a wider brush than with a narrow one. Everyone is completely free to do as they please, but when they have done it, they are obliged to respect the laws of nature. Even a layman can understand it. And with that we leave you with a final thought from this great painter. Truth is beauty. Light is the only truth, because without light we would know nothing. We are very happy to have had Bukovac and his work presented here, and to show just how diligently he carved out his passion into a successful life and successful painter. In closing, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, so not to miss future great artists and their stories here. Till next time, it's bye for now.